Man, it's good to be back.
It is great to be back.
Just another ep under the belt, you know.
We just keep going.
Doug, and I think on a serious note, what I appreciate, and this is the feedback I've been given, you know, not through Nat, it's feedback through Nat. Obviously, people don't give me feedback. It's no one ever goes to the talent, do they?
No.
You know, if they go to the agent.
Yeah.
Okay, so Nat then was like, no, like, people just love, it's a conversation. No, actually, Kono, shout out. I don't know. We've teased it for 2 episodes. Kono's the shout out. We love Kono.
He's the best.
And I think he was saying, though, it frustrates him listening because he wants to chime in. He's like, I'm listening to a podcast and he's like, oh, but I got a story. Oh, I'm listening on Spotify and I can't talk.
Especially with Kono, like, because Kono has so many good facts.
No, like, seriously, his stories are amazing.
And we, like, when we say things, half the time I'm almost guessing of like, yeah, the weather in Japan is rainy.
No, but he knows.
Kono would have been like, actually, the precipitation is, it rains this many times.
The cloud systems, the altitude, and actually I've been there.
Right.
And it's like, when? Well, and then he has the epic story.
There's always a great story afterwards.
Like, oh, really? Like, Master Shufeng is like his mentor, and then all of a sudden he's on a journey to Mecca, which I know that's Tibet, but not, you know, and it's like, cool.
So I'm not going to share the story because I do want to have him on to share the story. It's one of the funniest stories that I've heard probably in the last decade and a half. But when he was in Florida and just the horse police. You have to ask him about the story of the horse police next time you see him. And then we'll have him on and share the story because it's a fantastic story.
I appreciate his college stories.
Oh, they're so good.
It's because what is refreshing about it is they're clean. Like, it's not like, oh, college.
Yeah.
Everyone's college season is you know, just, it's just met with like, But like, his college stories are just genuinely, they're funny, they're clean, and it's like, I want my boys to have that experience in college.
I want my son to have a friend like Kono in college. That's what 100%.
I want. So I want to now tell them. They're the kind of stories that you're like, oh, let me tell you, but I won't. I'll tease you with it. So this episode, Dan, before we even get to it, I know we've been filming in my house for a couple of episodes, and it was raining. You know, recently. The sun is out now, which is amazing. But we have talked about Japan. I want to know, we've covered a lot. We've covered different continents. We've covered, you know, different regions. Somewhere in which, though, I want to, out of curiosity, do you know what the weather's like? The southernmost part of South America.
Cold.
Like, so, do you know, so you got North America, like America and Canada is North America. Which, if I was Canada, I'd be pretty jacked. Why are we included as North America?
Right.
You know? And it's all the Americas. But it's like, but the United States of America. Anyway, that's just a side note. So then you got North, Central, and South. What is the southernmost country? Is it, what's that long skinny pencil?
So there's Argentina's down there. Patagonia, I think, is down there. And then there's
Chile.
Chile.
Is Patagonia in Chile? Is that a city or a country? If we had Kono here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
It is.
Hey, Alexa, is Patagonia a country or a city?
According to an Alexa Answers contributor, Patagonia is not a country. It is a region in southern South America, encompassing Argentina and Chile.
Oh, so it's a region that covers Argentina and Chile.
Yeah.
But look how good we are, though, knowing where it was located. Because I said Argentina, you said Chile. Like, we know.
Wow. So there you go. It's informative, Just Dance. So, all right, Dan. So cold.
Yeah.
You think?
Well,
Okay.
because, I mean, you got Antarctica. Yeah, Antarctica, even just below that. And I just remember seeing, like, the Discovery Channel with the penguins. And it was always like, snow, cold, and then it's mountainy there as well.
Yeah, huge.
And so you obviously have snow-capped mountains or just full of snow, I guess. I don't know. Would you call them snow-capped mountains if they're full of snow, or is it just snowy mountains?
Well, they're not really capped, are they?
Right, because they're completely covered.
No cap.
No cap.
And so I would say, though, for I want to go there. I would love to go.
It just hit me. Patagonia, isn't that a brand of like clothing? Warm clothing?
The thing about dance is we're quick.
Yeah.
And so you know, we put things together.
It's only been 37 years and I just put that together.
And it's a mountain brand, it's a climbing brand, climbing mountains.
Yeah. Everything connects in life.
I wouldn't mind a shout out to Patagonia. Like I would rep their gear, specifically because like I can't afford them.
I feel like if I were to go skiing, and I don't know if it's a skiing brand, I feel like I just wear a Patagonia vest.
Yeah.
And just sip on my coffee. Not going down the hill, but...
Like you and I would just stay at the chalet. Chalet? Chalet. The chalet.
I don't know what that is.
CHALET, but it's like an A.
Chalet.
Chalet.
I don't know.
Dan and I would
I'm learning words today too.
would be at the chalet with our hot cocos with Patagonia gear.
Yes.
Yeah. So last episode we asked for, can someone just pay for tickets to go to Japan? I think it's more realistic. Can someone pay for us to go to Patagonia?
Not that I would say, hey, Japan, let's put that off the table. Like,
no. Yeah, if you want to get us tickets to Japan, I'm not saying no.
Yeah, but Patagonia would be. I love when I say I emphasize the Patagonia. I think that would be a great trip for us.
It would be. With no mountain experience, if you can get us there, we will climb whatever mountain.
Yeah, that's a challenge.
It is a challenge.
You pick the mountain, we'll climb it.
And I'm actually going to say we will do it with no training. Yeah. I'm so confident that we will. Now, if there's rock climbing involved, I need to learn. Okay? No, don't doubt. I know we can do it.
I'm not doubting. I'm just imagining us two in Patagonia with no tour guide or anything, just being like, all right, this is the one.
All right, Dan, this is the best segue into this episode. Okay? We're going to go traveling. And in this episode, it's Danisode. We're going to cover some stories, and you've lived in other countries. I've traveled to other countries. I'm currently living in another country, but specifically China is where I want to go right now.
Okay.
And this story links so well with what we're talking about. In my youthfulness, okay, I now no longer can say that.
That's like 4 years
ago. I'm 36, and I think we've clocked over. But when I was 18, I had a one-directional round-the-world ticket, and so you can pick 7 spots when you buy a round the world ticket, and so I paid for the fare, and off I went with a backpack for 6 months. And one of the locations I was like, China, let's go to China, you know. And when I went to China, when I went to different countries, I bought a Lonely Planet travel guide, and that was it. So I stuck to the Lonely Planet travel guide. This was 2007, so pre-Wi-Fi.
Wow.
There was a world without Wi-Fi. I don't think I had a mobile phone. and
if you did, there wasn't much you could do with it.
No.
Directionally anyways.
For the antenna.
Yeah.
You know. And so I landed in China, and it looked really good. So Western China, Kunming, and from there was a bus ride to get to Tiger Leaping Gorge. And I was like, man, the pictures look great. I wanted to go to Tiger Leaping Gorge. And I was like, fantastic, let's go. So it's a few days trip. So it's in like, get to Kunming, 40-hour train ride, got there.
Wait, did you say 4D?
40 from where I was in Beijing. And so it's like, let's go there. Then I found a bus ride to get to the next spot. Then I found a bus ride to get to the next spot. And then there I am at the hostel. And I'm like, yeah, guys, I want to do the Tiger Leaping Gorge, And hostels are great. There's flyers up and people are doing stuff. And so people are like, yeah, we're leaving tomorrow morning. Perfect. Great. Have you got gear? Yeah, I've got gear. I roll in the next morning, and classic Australian, I'm wearing like just track pants. I'm wearing just a pair of Asics, and I've got my bag. And they've looked at me and gone, you've got a change of clothes, don't you? Yeah. Have I got a change of clothes? Thinking
got a few.
Like underwear and socks, And so off we go, and you could see a little bit of judgment, and so I was like, "That's fine." Like,
how many people were with you on this?
About 12. Okay. There was a dozen of us, there's a kind of trail where it's only single line and you're like going up these mountains and down, up and down, up and down along this gorge. And as I'm walking, like, it is super scenic, like gorgeous, beautiful, but these clouds roll in. And then all of a sudden, all of these other hikers, I mentioned like hikers, roll in Gore-Tex. They've just put jackets on and they're just like flipping and zipping and doing all this. And I'm like, sick. I'm wearing a hoodie. Like I'm just hoodie, track pants, Asics. And then at that point, they know, oh, this Australian is not equipped.
Clueless.
So it's getting a little bit slippery underfoot. And one of them, thankfully, and I don't know why this guy he then rolls out with a second jacket and he's like, bro, just put this on.
He's a true hiker, always prepared. Yeah.
And I was like, thanks, man, thanks. And so, boom, clouds come, it's just pouring down and I'm just happy as God. But my favorite part of the trek is though, and that is for half a day you're seeing these signs, and these signs are like someone's just painted most scenic toilet in the world.
Wow.
What? And it's not just one or two signs. Like for half a day you're hiking up mountains, and at that point you're like, okay, like
so they're promoting the crap out of it.
And as I'm walking, seeing these signs, the curiosity is peaking.
I bet.
Like,
dude.
What
are you gonna
even
see?
though you needed go, I'm holding in for the most scenic toilet in the world. And I'm walking and these signs, and it's like, I'm like, okay, most things are, and boom, and we get near to the peak. And at that point, and it's like the toilet, we find it. And
did you know when you saw it? You were like, that's it?
Oh my gosh, I am super excited. And I'm with a bunch of English people. And English people from England are a little bit, they can have some fun, but these guys, they're hikers and they were unimpressed. And I'm there like 18-year-old going, and there's no doors or windows. It's all open air. And there's these cubicles. And so you're like in this stone brick building, Tiger Leaping Gorge, and you get to outlook on this incredible scenery, and you pay a 5-cent fee because some guy just collects money to go to the toilet. He's probably put these signs in. And so then I'm excited. I paid my 5-cent fee. I'm there, and I've held on for hours to do this dump. And as I'm there, I am just on cloud nine, loving it. But this is the key. This is the best part of the story. Then as I'm going, and I've gone, then I realise I didn't bring toilet paper, and I have forgotten that China, like you go to a public toilet, there's not toilet paper.
Thank goodness for that extra jacket, that backpack we gave you.
And I'm so thankful for, Sam, and he's like, great, no, at that point.
Were you in the middle of it when you realized?
It was like immediately after, like drop. Oh, and I'm like, okay, I've got a few options here. But at this point, and this is where I'm so thankful for China, because they don't put their toilet paper in the toilet. So you wipe and you put it in a bin next to the toilet.
So there's some extras for you?
If you're thinking what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
And so there I am squatting. And at that
Wait,
point...
squatting?
Yeah, there's no
I thought it was a
seat.
toilet.
No. Well, a hole on the ground.
So it's just a scenic area with a hole. Here I'm thinking it has got like a gold toilet you're sitting on and you're finished, but the scenic view is so beautiful. Your legs are falling asleep. You're like, I don't even need to get up.
And so I'm there, and then I'm needing to sift through the bin for unused scraps of someone else's toilet paper. That was the only time. I'm so thankful that it wasn't like a smudgy one, and like it's a one wipe and done. It's a one.
Oh, it was
one
a clean
wipe.
one.
Yeah.
I bet you it's because you were kneeling,
No,
and just somehow, some way, it was with the angles of it. It was just whoop, clean.
I also think because I've been hiking half a day, it's well packed. Do you know? Like,
oh, that actually makes more sense. That makes more sense.
Dan, that's my China story. That's my from Patagonia through to hiking in China. But you've lived overseas before. And like I can't even picture the way in which you've described rainforest and rivers and how they do the houses and stuff, give me a story.
I think there's a long one that lasted 3 months. The first time, I'll go with this one since we're on the same topic. It lasted 3 months. I'm not going to tell
what
the
lasted
whole,
3 months.
like the story. Like
Oh,
I could go for like the
I was
whole
like a parasite.
Yeah,
you
well,
held on for 3 months.
I held on for 3 months.
Talk about being pat.
Yes. So it was, well, no, it wasn't. It came out opposite of that. Anyways, so the first time I go to Peru, we go with this team and we're going down there for missions, and it was for 3 months. And we have heard so many different stories of like, look, you're gonna get diarrhea. And we decided on this team, no, we're not. We're not going to get it. And if we do get it, you lose, right? So it was like 12 of us, 15. Yeah, there was like 12 of us, 15 of us, and it was a bet on who can go the longest on this trip without getting diarrhea, stomach issues, or whatever. And so, we get there within the first couple of days, people are already out. And keep in mind, we're there for 3 months. And I'm the type, like, when I go somewhere, I want to experience everything. So I'm eating all the street food. Like, I'm walking around with my shoes off, which they say is the easiest way to pick up a parasite in a different country if you don't have shoes and socks on. Yeah, I don't know how, but that's what they say. So anyways, we're in Peru going through all this stuff, and it's just left and right. People are down and out. And it was actually me and this Australian girl were the last two. So, I remember it was the last day we were in Peru, and I'm starting to feel it in my stomach. But I'm holding. I'm like, I'm not going to go. I am waiting till we land in the United States of America, the land of the free, the home of the brave, to go use the toilet, because I am going the whole 3 months without doing it. So it was like a day and a half, 2 days, to where I'm just like, I'm not going. And my stomach, I'm feeling it. But on the outside, I'm playing it off like I'm good to go, because I wanted it to beat her mentally, making it seem like.
And at that point, your mates are there going, hey, is something wrong with Dan? Like your sweat patches, like it's like, just
why are you shaking? So we get back to the U.S. and they set us up in this room. All the guys are in this one house off to the side, and we don't have like beds. We have like mattresses or like blow up mattresses. And
classic Wildland.
Exactly. I'm sleeping on the floor on this mattress. And wake up.
Dan's give other people the mattresses.
Yeah, I could have had the king bed.
We take the floor.
There was a king bed. There was bunk beds. And I'm like, you know what, guys? I've been sleeping on the floor the last couple months anyways. This is for you. I'm so used to it.
It's comfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah, I choose it first. Floors are great.
Yeah, even if I could have been the first to pick, which I wasn't. I always let people go first. I would have chose that. So this isn't my bed. This isn't my house. These aren't my bed sheets. So I'm sleeping, and
no. In my head, I'm ahead in the story.
4 a.m. rolls around.
No.
3 a.m. rolls around.
No.
And I wake up.
No.
To just this warm feeling.
No.
And in my mind, I'm thinking, is this a dream? Is this actually happening? So I get up, go to the bathroom. And at that moment, I realized it wasn't a dream, because there was a big stain on the bed, and there's a warm feeling coming down my leg.
Oh, damn.
So the pride of me winning this competition.
Yes. Pride comes before them.
Yeah. Did it surpass me having to go through that? Because then when I got to the bathroom, then it was like, I couldn't decide which end I need to put in the toilet. So I'm going back and forth. I don't know. So anyways, all that being said, I ended up winning the competition, but that happened to me not just once, but 2 nights in a row.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
Can I just to follow up from the story?
But it wasn't like a scenic bathroom. It wasn't anything beautiful like that. It was just a normal toilet or bed.
How did you can't disguise it. You can't hide it. You can't.
Oh, I told the story. I said, guys,
right.
There is a stain, not in the sheets. It went through the sheets onto the mattress.
No.
I don't know which mattress this is. Oh, it was bad. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
But the excuse...
So what was your dream? Like, imagine you... like...
Scenic toilets? I don't know.
And you woke up going, wow,
But, so my excuse, and it actually was a good excuse, I had a parasite. So it's like, when there's a parasite, when there's something living in you, I guess you just can't control
classic
everything.
classic Adam excuse.
Yeah.
No, it was her. It was her.
wasn't me.
God, it was
It was the
her.
parasite.
You know, it wasn't me that let go of it. It was the parasite.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah, sure. Okay. Yeah.
So not like a fun story, not
Yeah.
like, oh, I want that to happen to me or I want to experience that. It's
Mm.
just kind of one of those things where it's like, it happens to everybody at some point.
Isn't it interesting, just like the medical weird things that are in the world? Because we were traveling once and like in America, and Hugo got a tapeworm, and I didn't realize what like a tapeworm is because it looks like tape, and all of a sudden he was complaining, and we're like, we were fortunately with Nat's mum, who she's got a nursing degree, but I feel like she's got a doctor's degree in just everything. Like she diagnoses everything. So for a nurse, she knows. She was like, "No, it's this," but she says it with certainty. I think she just knows.
She actually really does know.
And you don't want her to be right, but 9.9 times out of 10, she is.
It's spot on.
And she's like, "Oh, come here, Hugo." And he's like, "All right, Grandma." Boom. And it's never just like, it's just like rips the ear. Oh yeah. Nat. And then Nat comes over. Mum, what? And then Glenn is trying to see that, and Nat's like, oh, okay. Tweezers. For some reason, we always travel with tweezers. I don't know why. And with that family. And so Nat just tweezers in the ear and pulls. And this thing is like, it
just keeps coming.
A good couple of inches of like this tape. And that, it was like, oh. And Hugo was like, I think we're in Tennessee, in Johnson City, of all the places. And so everything happens at night time. So you're just like, oh, okay, well, what's open? Urgent
what
care.
do you do?
So we went straight to urgent care. Luckily, Nat kept it, and was like, here, it's a course of antibiotics or whatever. He had some antifungal, something tropical. It was wild. And you're like, oh. And so you hear those like parasite stories and things like, it is real.
Yeah, it's gross.
But I think my other travel story is there's a few. That's also the issue of like you go traveling and you're just like you don't go traveling for the stories, but you come home going, what just happened? But I think there was one. Let's go cleaner. I think a bit cleaner.
Yeah.
But this one's more security, and so I don't want to just be cautious. So it wasn't China, India, and India. Again, Lonely Planet. Bought the book, travel guide, India. And there were a few warnings at the front of the book. When you travel to countries, foreign countries, just be cautious.
And when it's at the beginning, it's got to be something serious. Like they didn't put it in the middle of the book, the end of the book. It was like, hey,
that's right. Come to think of it, it was actually a warning throughout the book.
Which is little reminders, not just at the beginning.
And this particular warning was like, just don't get off of transport and take the first, don't just take something that they hand you, because often in India they give you chai tea. So it's like, don't take the chai and don't just pick the first driver, take your time, assess the situation, have a look around. If someone look, use your gut feeling. And I was 18 as well at the time, and I've just been on this long train ride. And I then, after this long train ride, I think as well, I had just said goodbye to Nat. And so Nat met me in New Delhi with my dad and sister, and we were there for a missions trip. And so we just parted ways. And so Nat was about to go back to Australia, and I was going to continue for a couple of extra months traveling. And
just a mission's heart. You wanted to continue on the mission field. Yeah.
Stop.
This is who we are.
I need to insert there though. This is where though I still was of sound mind, because another guy, Joel, who we were with. So we've just been on this epic train ride and had this great, week teaching at this school in Nepal. And Joel's like, hey, do you reckon rather than join the team to go back to Delhi to fly to Australia, do you reckon I can walk back to New Delhi? And we were like hundreds of miles away. And I was like, no, I think Joel just just stick with the original itinerary. Like, I think just...
Why would you want to walk back?
And Joel's like, no, I reckon I'm just going to, just walk and meet some people. And
Did he end up?
no, I think enough people got around him, but I think he didn't fly back, but he extended his trip, and he was like just a free spirit. And like, all right, Joel. So I've left Joel, I've left Nat.
Was he wearing different clothes by the end of this?
Oh, he came back with like tie-dye.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dreads formed. It was just like shoes left him. He's like, what happened to your shoes?
Yeah, I've met a few Joels.
It's like, so then I'm train ride, hop off. There I am. I think it was Lucknow. No. We've left Lucknow. I've gone to Varanasi.
Wait, Lucknow or like?
Yeah, it's like Luchno something.
Okay.
Anyway, CK maybe Luck.
I didn't know if you meant like now I've left Luck.
Oh right.
Lucknow.
Yes, I've left the city Lucknow. I've left there, gone to Varanasi, and I've hopped off the train. And guess what? Hop off the train, and the guy just hands me chai tea. Thanks. And then I look over. This is a pile of 1,000 clay cups. All right, cool. That's a custom, sure. So I've walked off. I didn't pay for that. Now that I think about it, and I'm like,
He's still looking
and I'm
for
just like,
you.
man, this country, they're so generous. Handing out chai tea,
Free chai teas as soon as you get off the train.
and it tasted good. So I throw my cup, and then guess what? I've just gone, oh, first person there. Daniel just hops in the rickshaw.
Just nice people.
We are trusting guys, Boom, hop in the rickshaw. I've got my Lonely Planet. I've done a bit of research, I just point to this hotel, and oh yeah. Even I think if he didn't know where it was,
He knew where
he
it
was
yeah.
just there going,
Yeah, I know.
yeah. And I
He
don't
just
know.
moved this city that day. Gotcha.
And so away we go. And so he then, going.
Is there any small talk at all in this car ride?
Language barrier.
Okay.
And so we drive, and he pulls down a side street. And part of it as well is they're going, don't drink the chai and don't hop in the first rickshaw. And I've then gone,
You're over two.
like if Glenda was there, my mother-in-law, she'd diagnose it. It's this, and just stupidity, Daniel. And there I am. And I've gone, oh, like the heart starts to beat a bit more. And I feel like I'm under threat. And I'm there going, oh. And so he's in big smile, 1 minute. I'll be 1 minute, Okay. And he leaves. I'm in a back alley in a rickshaw, and I've just drank some foreign drink.
That you think is chai tea.
I think it's chai. And so then I'm like in my head going, no, how's my vision? My vision's fine. Okay, good. 2. Okay, good. We're fine. All right. I can count. Okay. And I'm thinking, oh, no, this is where I get abducted. So then I'm thinking, okay.
I've read this in the book.
Yes, yeah, totally. I've just watched Taken. Liam Neeson, what would he do?
Oh, yeah.
And so then I've grabbed my Swiss Army knife, and I'm like, this is what I need.
Need a nail filer? Wait.
Tweezers. Ah, no, it's me. Ah, what's up? Why am I Asian? Why?
There's no dagger in that Swiss Army knife. What are you doing?
So if ever you're in combat with tweezers, is that a black kid or a hole? It's a hand. And so then, boom, tweezers back in, and I flipped out my with a big blade, and I've sat on it thinking I can't, I want to look trusting still because Dan's care about people, but I just got it there in case underneath my butt, and he comes out of this foreign building. It was like a roller door. Like he rolls up the roller door and he runs back on the rickshaw. I had to post a letter. I just had to post a letter. And just stops back in and drives. Okay. All right. And so, boom, away we go. 2 minutes later, I'm at the hostel and happy days. And
Why couldn't he drop you off at the hostel?
I had more questions than answers.
Yeah.
And given the language, I really couldn't ask a lot of questions.
Makes sense.
So that was my near-death experience down in India, but it really wasn't a near-death experience. It was just he needed to post a letter.
I mean, with the knife, though, you never know the situation. So I'm glad you were prepared.
Totally. Have you ever felt like threatened or what Have you been in a hairy situation?
I feel like there's two. I'll share one of them, but the one I'm not going to share, it involves a snake in where the border of Peru, Colombia, and Brazil come in the Amazon. It's
Oh, wow.
Peru's on this side of the river, and then Colombia and Brazil are on the other side of the river.
Wow.
And I was there with my sister because we had to go get our visa stamped every like 100 and some days, 90 days, whatever. And there was a guy who was obviously on drugs or something, and he just came and brought a snake in front of us. But I will share that later.
Wow.
It was one of the deadliest snakes, is what I was told. But the one that I will share is we weren't, I mean, I guess it is just one of the best places in the world, South Dakota. So
okay.
my wife and I were there.
I thought you were going to go to South America.
Yeah.
Sure. You really built up South Dakota.
Mount Rushmore.
Aha. Midwest.
So I can't even remember the year. This might have been like 2010, 2011. But my home church, there was a guy in our home church that he loved just to bless people and like take them to concerts, right? So he had his own little private plane, but then he would rent out another private plane and just like, hey, who wants to go to a concert this weekend? So our youth pastor at the time, he invited Lily, my friend, one of my best friends, and I to this concert. And it was in North Dakota, so it wasn't a long trek, especially on a plane. So it's like a 45-minute flight to go to this concert. So it was, in one plane, it was Lily, my friend, and I. And then in the other plane, there was like 4 other people from the church. And so we fly up there.
What a great guy, by the way.
Oh, it was awesome. And it's not like I loved the music that was playing. It was like your typical K-Love music, always encouraging. So it wasn't like bad music, but it's not exactly. It was like, I'm gonna go get on a private plane, get to a concert, enjoy a 2-hour-long concert, and then I get to fly back in the same day.
I've never been on a private plane.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Wow.
So our pilot, he was a retired American Airlines pilot for like 30 some years, and so now he just kind of flies people private.
So you're entrusting him.
There was a language barrier there as well. I mean, he could speak English, but it was a very thick Norwegian, and I'm Norwegian, and so I couldn't even understand him. I don't speak a lick of it, but I couldn't understand him.
You're what?
Norwegian from Norway. What did you think Norwegian was? Like, what was the first thing that came to your mind?
I don't know. I think I was like, I'm pretty sure it's Norwegian, but maybe you're so Norwegian that you have convinced me that I didn't know.
You didn't know how to pronounce it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like when people pronounce my surname, Novak. And it's like, well, no, like, I'm the person, so I get to call it Novak. And they're like, no, it's from this country, so it's Novak. I'm like, no, don't school me on my name.
Yeah, I know how to say it. So I know how to, say Norwegian. Yeah. It's Norwegian. So we get to the concert, everything's fine. And I remember on like the car ride back, my buddy was like, I'm going to ask him if I can sit co-pilot with him.
Oh, yeah.
And so it was pilot, my friend co-pilot, and then right behind them, they have 2 chairs facing the back of the plane.
Yeah, okay.
And so it was Lily and I there, and then there's just 2 other chairs facing the front. So it's a very small plane. And so he goes up there, and we were like giggling, like, do you think he's going to let you fly it? Just kind of messing around. And so he starts asking questions to the pilot, like, oh, what's this? What's this? And so the guy's kind of explaining things, and Lily and I are kind of in the back. We're like, we highly doubt this guy's going to let our friend fly.
Sure.
But sure enough, while he's explaining, he's like, all right, now press this, press this. Now you kind of press in on this, and then you can steer the plane with your feet.
Oh.
Right, left. And so he's explaining that. And all of a sudden, we're on the runway. We're not going straight. We're sideways. And my friend is taking off. He has never flown a plane before in his life.
What?
Ever in his life. And so he lets my friend, and he's just kind of relaxed.
In the co-pilot seat?
Yes.
But can you pilot a plane from the co-pilot seat?
I mean, unless the guy was lying to us.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Because my buddy was trying, yeah, he was trying to steer, and he obviously didn't do a good job because we were sideways taking off.
Oh, my word.
So we get up in the air, and he let him fly for maybe like 5 minutes, and then he comes back with us. So he's now facing the front of the plane. Lily and I are facing the back of the plane, and we're just kind of talking. Friend. Yeah.
Not thank goodness. Yeah. I'm thinking the boss.
Yeah. No. He's like, you got this, buddy. And keep in mind, there was a language barrier to where my friend barely could understand everything he was saying too. So he's like, I think he was telling me to do this, and that's probably why we were going sideways. So we get to elevation and, we're talking, and all of a sudden we start to hit some turbulence.
Oh, no.
And in a smaller plane, obviously turbulence is going to throw you
Yeah.
around a little bit more. But when I say turbulence, like we are dropping.
No.
It got to a point to where there's beep, beep, beep. Red lights are flashing. Lily and I went this way. We came and smacked heads this ways. But I was so nervous. It was like a giggle nervous, like, oh my gosh,
How
we're
we
gonna
good?
die. Yeah.
Lord.
And so my friend and I are like giggling, laughing about it. And Lily's like, why are you laughing right now? I can't believe you're laughing. But it was like, I was actually scared. Like, I thought we were going to go down. But what gave me at least a little bit of ease was the pilot was sitting there like this the whole time, just nonchalant. But then when we landed, he was like, yeah, that's probably some of the worst turbulence I've ever been in. I mean, we were getting thrown around in this plane.
He's not the kind of guy you want. Like,
No.
he is, but he isn't.
Yeah.
Because like you could then, like, at any point you could just die, and he's just chill.
Yeah.
And so you're not prepared that, like, this could be my last thought on Earth.
Well, that's what was confusing, was like, you have red lights beeping, you hear a noise, bam, bam, you're getting tossed around nonstop, but then he's just sitting there nonchalant, like everything's fine.
Those
So it was
darn
confusing.
nonchalant people.
Yeah, it was confusing.
Like, I've got beef with nonchalant. Like, don't give me nonchalant. I want chalant. Don't give me nonchalant.
I want you to be more chalant.
Exactly. Give me
be chalant about
chalant. Like, not too much though. I think, like some people,
there's a cap of.
I want mid chalant. Give me mid chalant. And so, no, that wow. The heart would have been racing. I think I wouldn't have been great in a situation like that. But no, I think to wrap up the episode, we always have a moment of seriousness. Dan, I think travel is, vital and important.
Yeah.
Can I encourage everyone to just get a passport, even if you don't use it? $200 well spent. I think it's the intent. So if someone says, "Hey, tomorrow, do you want to fly overseas?" You're like, "Yeah, I can."
Speaking of, I got to get my passport renewed because Japan, Patagonia.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think exactly. Take my advice. Get a passport. Because we were at a restaurant last night, and the waitress, the hostess or waitress, I think waitress,
I believe.
she had a weld kind of map on her arm, and she was like, "Oh, I've got a postage stamp on this arm," and whatever. She never mentioned overseas. Oh, she was one country she's been overseas, but I was worried to ask her questions because I felt like it was going to go on.
It would have.
But she was like, "No, I've been to all 40 states in America." I was like, "Oh, like a world map that you've done."
So not just the you
okay. But I think,
but her heart was there. Like
totally.
She really wants to travel, and I love that.
Totally. But I think there is something important about travel. It's meeting people, different cultures. I think it's understanding your world is so tiny.
Yeah.
Your neighborhood, your city, your state, and your country is so tiny. And then when you go overseas, and then you go to different cultures and countries, you then realize, oh my goodness, like this planet we are on has so many rich cultures. How daft are we that we think this is it?
This is the only way to do it. This is the only way to go.
Best food.
Yeah.
And then you go there, you're like,
I've been missing this my whole life.
Yeah, exactly. So I think if I can encourage you, get a passport and travel, or put it on a list somewhere that you will get to.
Yeah. And side note on that, I'm all about resorts. I love resorts being served. But get out on that street, eat some street food, meet some locals, understand why they do certain things the way they do it. It just makes your life so much better.
Because when we're in Thailand, and there was the Hard Rock Cafe you could go to, but then down the street, the pad thai, which costs 60 cents.
Yeah. And it's probably the best pad thai you've ever had.
Unbelievable pad thai. And you're like, why would I pay $15 for a burger at Hard Rock when I can go 60 cents?
But did they sell shirts for pad thai? Because I think Hard Rock sells a lot of shirts.
They're cool.
So I get why people would want to go there.
What a Danisode. We've got some stories. We've got plenty more. Let us know in the comments if you liked it, or what is your travel story. We want to know.